Yo, what up, man? This is your boy, the one, the only, Cito, aka the Latino Nelly, and welcome to another episode of
Peer Pressure.
So this episode, we're talking about code switching. Now, I'm not really gonna get into it right now. I'm gonna let the art speak for itself. You know what I'm saying? But this is one of my favorite episodes we've done so far, and I really hope you enjoy it. If you like it, you know what to do: rate, comment, subscribe, do all that, man. It would really help you boys out. Now, on to more important topics. Peer pressure. That's right. Peer pressure. Dami, Cito, and Brando. We're starting a book club. That's right, son. A book club. The first book we're going to be reading is Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind by Yuval Noah Harari. And the way it's going to work is we're going to read 4 to 5 chapters every 2 weeks. Have a quick episode where we discuss those chapters. And so if you want to participate, we're going to give you a little while to get the book. And in the coming weeks, we'll drop more details and information about when to start, what chapters we're going to cover, and when we're going to talk about it. So if you're really trying to participate, if you're really about gaining this knowledge, then let us know and we can get you on the show to discuss the chapters with us. And we're really excited. It's been a good way to start the new year, keep us reading and gaining knowledge and all that. So look for more information in the coming weeks. And let's get into this one, man.
Peer pressure. Pressure. Peer pressure.
And we're live. Welcome back to another episode of Peer Pressure. It's your boy Brando in the building. I got my boy with me here, Cito, the Latino Nelly. You know what it is.
What up, my guy? Thanks for having me back on the show, bro.
Hey,
Glad
man.
to be here.
Actually, this whole time, Dom's been a guest.
Yeah.
He's been a very reoccurring guest, but it's chill.
The longest of a reoccurring guest.
Little subtle peer pressure. Today we got a good topic in the works today for you. We want to talk a little bit about something we call code switching. So Dominic, for the people that don't know, could you give us a little breakdown of what code switching is?
Code switching. Code switching, what happens when people who speak multiple languages alternate between 2 or more languages, oftentimes within the same phrase or sentence.
Interesting. Wow.
In colloquial terms, what happens when people subtly change the way they express themselves? Subtly. So, not necessarily different languages, but different accents or smaller, subtle changes. Vernacular.
Vernacular. Thank you so much.
Come on, my guy.
Wow.
Get your vocabulary up.
Just from the jump, I can give you a really good explanation or experience that I've had with code switching. So when I worked at my job, then when I just quit.
What job?
I can't say. You have to.
My
believe
guy.
That. You have to believe that. You have to.
Bro, don't be afraid, bro.
Dude,
what they got on you? What they got on you? What's up?
Nothing.
What are they gonna do? What they gonna do? Find me. Brandon, let me call this number right now. Call me.
I don't. All right. Anyway,
Text me 909. What's up?
That's someone's random number.
That's my phone number.
Oh, is it? No. Okay. So, I worked in the call center, right? And so on the phone, we're supposed to give that white glove service. Like,
I don't know what that means.
Hi, welcome to so and so. My name is Brandon.
Welcome
Stop it. Hi, welcome to. My name is Brandon, and who do I have the pleasure of speaking with today?
What's white glove service mean? I've never
It's
heard
like
that before.
it's like the ultimate premium service experience. Like everything that there's no like the word no is not in your
Why
vocabulary.
does the glove got to be white?
Because like with butlers, like when they go around and like clean stuff.
But
And
why
then,
white? All right, sorry, go ahead.
But yeah, so like no does not exist in your vocabulary. It's like, oh, do you have this, and this? We don't, but we have this, and this, and you have to like be really like on your shit, and you can't sound like you're not professional, right? So then I'd be like, oh my gosh, yes, of course, definitely. Even when they're yelling at you, you have to be like super nice. I'll tell you the story about this one time. This dude, you've heard this before. He was like really pissed because we canceled his order. He's like, I was like, what's your order number, sir? He goes, B from a B in that ass. G from a get that ass over here. F, I'm gonna fly my ass out there to see you. I was like, damn. I was like, I started laughing.
Wait, can you say the last one again? Wait, I didn't get the second letter.
Yeah, it was F for fuck you for. Anyway, so
Did he really say that one?
Some of these I made up. Some of these are true. I can't really tell because it's all blur. Because when you're in the moment, though, I start sweating. I'm like on the phone, like I'm like
sweaty.
I'm like typing, taking
Knees
notes.
weak.
And yeah, bro.
Arms is heavy.
And so right when I got off the phone, after I finished my like phone voice, I'm like, oh yeah, definitely, of course. Once again, have a great rest of your day. My name is Brandon. Thank you for calling. Bye bye. I take out my headphones. Like, yo, I look to my left. Yo, Alina, that was some bullshit. Like. And that I realized was like the ultimate code. Yo, bro, like,
Going from hello, sir. Okay,
yeah,
all right. It'll be a couple seconds.
You're
Sorry about that.
super,
Hold on.
yeah, super professional. It's like, yo, Lena, yo,
That
I
was
just
a
had this
bullshit.
this caller. Oh my god, bro, like this was some bullshit. Like he was on some shit. You should have heard him. So I think that that's really important, especially when you're kind of living in two different worlds in a way. Like you have to present yourself to some other people, another group of people, in a very like professional way, but then you can turn around and be with your friends and be like, yo, what the fuck is up? Blah, 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 blah.
Yo,
You know
what's
what I mean?
good? Yo, what's really good? Let me hear. I want to play this. There was like I was a huge fan of Dave Chappelle growing up.
Yes.
And like he best show ever on TV, Chappelle Show. Off top. Shout out Dave Chappelle. That's my guy right there. He's a big homie looking out for me all the time. So yeah,
Look
shout
at
out-
that.
shout out Chappelle.
Buff Dave Chappelle or skinny Dave Chappelle?
Buff Dave Chappelle, man. He calls me every once a week. He makes sure we're like doing it. You know what I mean? And so he had this one sketch. It was called "What Keeping It Real Goes Wrong."
Yes.
And it's the ultimate like he literally took. I don't know if it was called code switching back then. I think it's a newer term. But he like took the concept of it and he made it into like a comedy sketch. So I want to play the audio from it.
Play that.
So it's called "What Keeping It Real Goes Wrong."
You're watching When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong. Vernon Franklin was an exceptional young man. He was the valedictorian of his high school class, won several scholarships, and became the first person in his family to attend college. He got a good job and worked 14-hour days, 6 days a week, quickly becoming the youngest vice president in the history of the Viacorp Corporation, ending the cycle of violence and drug addiction that had plagued his family for generations. The officers of his company were wrapping up the usual Thursday meeting in the South Conference Room when Frank Murphy, the man who had mentored Vernon, made an awkward comment.
Vernon, great job, buddy. You the man. Give me some skin, huh?
Vernon got along with all of the
I wish you
people
could see
he
his
worked
face
with,
right now,
which
my
in his
guy.
heart of hearts made him feel like an Uncle Tom.
This is my favorite Dave Chappelle part
Though
of all
he
time.
could have ignored the simple comment his mentor made, Vernon decided to keep it real.
Get your motherfucking hand out of my face. You heard me, motherfucker. Get your hands out of my face. What you think this is, man? Just shake my hand like a man. I gotta give you some five on the backhand side with all this crazy jab. That's bullshit. You want a little soft shoe? Should I jug some watermelon before you roll? Fuck all that, bitch.
Hey, Vernon, buddy.
Get your motherfucking hands off me, Frank. Ain't a game.
Sing the Vernon I
This
know.
is my favorite
Allow
part.
me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho. Damn. I used to beat motherfuckers up just like you, just for walking around my way,
Vernon,
nigga.
Vernon, buddy.
You better sit the fuck down, Frank. I said, sit down, bitch.
This is my favorite part.
Like, that is a game, nigga. Wu-Tang.
Today,
Bro, after I saw that, I yelled Wu Tang after everything. And whenever I got Wu Tang, what's up? No, but that like so like in the video, he's just like man who's like a very
his mentor or whoever came in, right? I wasn't watching the video. I couldn't see.
what it is he's this dude who like got high up in his company. His
Right.
company of like all white people or whatever.
Right,
so
right,
worked
right.
very hard, came from like a tough background.
Yes.
Got to like vice president of the company, youngest person. Then he goes to a meeting, dude's like, "Hey man, like
Yeah.
like tries to act like
Yeah.
this is the way because in the video they're in a meeting room and it's all white people and it's Dave Chappelle and the guy goes like, "Oh, what's up? Oh man, like hey, give me some skin." Like try to act like
With the culture.
trying to like let me bring this down to your level.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Let,
yeah.
let me say something that you can understand. And like and all the skits like there's multiple keeping it. He's like he had the choice to like ignore the comment or he could keep it real.
Yeah.
And like right then he was like he can keep up his code switching.
Right.
And like code switching is like knowing the environment you're in
Yes.
and knowing that like there are certain rules to that environment and like what's acceptable and what's not acceptable.
For sure.
And he decided like
It was time to
fuck this.
Yeah.
Like you're not gonna come at me like that.
for sure.
And I think like nowadays too, especially in like the internet culture, like moments like that happen, like not all the time, but like I think in sports, like they happen a lot. Like Allen Iverson when he's at the podium.
Oh yeah,
we talk about pride, like and he like
exactly.
goes on, and it's something that in a post game conference, like almost like all the time when I'm watching sports and they interview someone, you know what they're gonna say. They'll be like, oh no, like I mean the rest, I mean they did the best they could, like blah blah blah. They keep everything very neutral.
Like for example, I don't know if you've seen like any of Lonzo Ball's like post game interviews. Like, oh yeah, really shout out to our defense. Like it was a great call. Like blah blah blah. Like
they're a good team, man. Like they work hard. They they have a great
the typical
coach.
the typical cliche
trash.
like athlete stuff. You know what I mean?
And then every once in a while
You get an AI.
they'll keep it real.
Yeah.
They keep when keeping it real goes wrong, AI will go off like we talk about practice, like that type of stuff, and like it happens more. And I think people like that now.
I think now people like that, but when it was happening back then, I feel like people, first of all, because that practicing was such a big like phenomenon, people freaked out about that. Like I don't think anyone did that before.
No
you know what I mean?
No one. Yeah, everyone was very like they stuck to the rules. You know what I mean? I think like code switching, what it is like going into a situation and then assessing the rules. And like
reacting
and like knowing like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And a lot of it like code switching, like it originated from like language, like the origination of like code origination. That's fucking making up my own rules. Code switching came from switching languages. So not actually like it's not a cultural thing. It came from actually like people who are bilingual and they switch languages mid conversation.
like Spanglish.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But now like code switching is used when you're switching cultures. So like you go into like a professional setting,
Right,
and
right.
like, you understand the rules of the game.
Like when you're on the phone, like you have to be very cordial and to be super professional.
Exactly.
But once I'm off that bitch, like I'm back and being regular. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's this video of this. We both watched it. I forgot the girl's name. I have it written down. Sorry, it's a TED Talk. If you type in code switching on YouTube, it's the first thing that comes up. And then like one of her quotes, she says, "The expectation of code switching threatens true diversity."
Ooh, can we elaborate on that a little bit?
So that means like if you come into a situation and you already know like the person I am is not allowed to be here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So like if you like the way I'm talking to you right now, I don't talk like this when I'm at work.
Of course.
You know what I mean?
See, okay, my question is like, obviously there is like there are different environments in everyone's life, right?
Yeah.
Like when I'm at home, I don't talk. Like when I'm with my parents, I don't talk like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then is like what she's saying basically is there's like a limit you shouldn't cross where you kind of lose your actual cultural your own identity to code switch, right?
I got two quotes for you, my guy.
Bring it on me.
There's two of them. There's for those who opt for authenticity, there are often very real consequences that can be felt. So like what you were saying is like, sorry, what were you saying? I forgot what you were saying. I was looking.
It was
for
like there's a point at which you can't cross. Like when you code switch too much, and then you start losing your own actual identity. You know what I mean?
Sorry, I'll bring that one up later. The one I wanted to say, there's two quotes I wanted to bring up.
Yeah.
The person who is expected to code switch almost simultaneously acts as two slightly edited versions of themselves. So like it's like you could never. It's like when you go in a situation that you have to change. Like it's like I speak from like personal experience. There's like me here, there's me at home, and there's me at work, and you're gonna get a different person every time.
Right.
Like I know like the environment I had to be in. I know I can't be fully myself.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. So like you have to like alter who you are when you go into these situations because you have to like almost filter yourself in a way. You know
For
what I
sure.
mean?
For sure.
That's frustrating.
Like that's just you're self-censoring. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, like the main mental like battle I face with that is like it should be in my head. It's okay to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In certain situations, like that's fine. But then I'm kind of lost where like people can't actually be themselves. You know what I mean? Because I don't know where that line is. When like for example, we have written down here like kids start calling each other like Oreo.
Yeah.
Or like banana. You know, you're yellow outside, you're white on the inside. But like, what does that even mean? Because I'm just being myself at the same time. You know what I mean?
I think damn, we're about to go down a rabbit hole, my guy. Because
Hey.
I think that then you're talking about the idea of like what is like who are you?
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because like she had the example of like she was from like the inner city, got into like a GATE program.
Yes.
She had to move school, so they bust her into the school where it was like all white kids, and she's African American.
Yes.
So she did it like she came in with she literally said she like came in with my Jodeci boots.
Yeah.
Like, all this type of stuff.
Her cross-colored jersey.
And yeah, she said she stood out like a sore thumb.
Because all the other kids were wearing like light pastel colors with ribbons in their hair and stuff.
Yeah, and so she's like, yeah. Then I started listening to Green Day and all this type of stuff.
Got a lot of laughs.
So like, but like, so she was a different person when she went in that school.
Right.
Then her who she was, like herself, became altered.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
After 4 years or how many years she's at that school,
Yeah.
now she actually is that culture. Like she talked about like she'd be like aware of like when she's at her house or with her family,
Right.
to talk about like certain things that would relate to them. She didn't want to talk about like cello and classical music,
Right.
because that was something that she'd only talk to her friends about. You know what I mean? So like, yes, like she had to change who she was to fit into that situation.
Yeah.
But after a certain period of time, that became who she was.
Interesting.
So I don't know, like
You kind of become the person you act like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which is crazy.
or if you're around that enough, then you
Right.
adopt like then you acting becomes you actually becoming that.
Wow.
Like when does the actor become
Right. It's like fake it till you make it, and then you actually make it.
yeah, and then you're like shit.
right.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
The only time that like I don't know, I struggle with that too because I always want to, whenever I'm in like a professional setting.
Yeah. Do you feel out of place?
Yeah, 100%. Because I wasn't raised like that. Not like raised like that, but I was like, that's not situations I'm comfortable being in. Because me, like, one of like the funniest stories. I went to this like conference. It was like a what was it? It was like a school district. It was the Montclair, Ontario School District conference or something. And I was going on behalf of someone else. So I go to this place, and then it's all these people like I came in like my clothes from work, so I was like wearing like the company shirt and then, like pants and like my Cortezes, my Compton Cortezes. You know what I mean? I was you know, Could you tell with the bombs, my guy? You trying to blow my ears out?
We just dual bombed.
but so like I came in like those type of clothes, right?
Yeah.
And then it's all these. They're almost all white.
Yes.
And they're all wearing like business, not even business casual, like business professional.
Yeah.
Like pantsuits and the whole nine.
Yeah.
And so I come there and fuck.
Yeah.
One, I already felt all the place. One, I'm the youngest person in there.
Yeah.
Two, I'm wearing like regular ass clothes.
Yes.
So I'm in there and I'm like, oh shit. And so it's all these white people. And like
Yeah.
I don't notice stuff like that, but like I'm sitting there, and then what I'm doing, I instantly like I connect with this one dude. It was just like this black dude. I started talking to him. I was like, "Oh, what's up?" Like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Talking. We exchanged business cards.
Ooh.
What was wild is like I don't have a business card, so I was exchanging like the person I was there for business card.
Wild.
I was like, "This is my name's actually not that. I'm not a girl. My name's Dominic."
Yeah.
And then
You had to coach with real fast.
yeah. And then so it was like that, and I talked to a couple other people. Then we came to sit down, right? And we all sit down, and there's like probably like 8 tables, and there's me at this table, 4 people. And it's me, this black dude, this black girl, and this Mexican dude.
Ooh.
And I look around, and I'm like talking. We're all cool. Like I become friends with dudes sitting next to me.
Yeah.
His name's Josue. You know what I mean? We became tight.
Yeah.
And then later in like halfway through the thing, I'm looking around. We're the only table where it was like minorities. The rest of the place was like, and I just thought it was funny. Like we all gravitated towards each other,
Right.
because I could talk to him like when I was talking to someone else. Like I was talking to this lady who initiated this program within the school district, and like I was talking like I don't talk. I was like, oh no way! Like
Definitely.
how did that happen? Like how did you get involved in that?
Oh,
You know
wow,
what I mean?
that's so interesting.
And I was talking to you, I was like, bro, like, how'd you end up there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, we're
For
talking about
sure.
the same shit, but like, I was talking to him in a way
In
where
different
like,
ways.
that I feel way more comfortable, and because like I could talk to him like that, he instantly felt comfortable with me.
For
like
sure.
we instantly had a bond that me and that lady didn't have.
For sure.
Like we knew what was up.
When you bring up that story, the funny not like it's haha hilarious, but the funny thing is like does it always have to be like a contrast between like let's just call it how it is, like white culture and minority culture?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Is that always the case when people are code switching?
Yeah, I think so.
You think-
Because I think in that thing she talked about like talking white and minorities are acceptable. This is another quote. Minorities are acceptable provided they behave a certain way. It's like when you go into these like professional or like usually when you go into like a really big group setting, usually the dominant culture is white culture.
For sure.
White culture, like professional, like talking like proper English. Like there's like Mexican English, there's like Black English, there's like Filipino English. There's different like types of English. You know what I mean? I'm speaking English right now. But I'm saying my guy and like, oh yeah, well, like blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Oh, that's just fire. Like shit like
That's
that.
different English than like proper quote unquote is supposed to sound like.
Exactly. But when you go into certain scenarios,
Yes.
it's more likely than the time it's going to be white English.
Right. I wonder. I understand that that's been like in a professional environment that proper English has been long standing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do wonder if there's going to be a time ever where in a professional setting, like people can just talk how they want to talk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like for example, like at what I don't like is like office company parties. Because it's in a way like you're not necessarily code switching like your linguistics or how you're talking, but you're acting like people get trashed at company parties. You know what I mean? But like people are not acting like that when they get in the office on Monday.
Yeah.
And it's like,
it goes,
what's
hey Carol.
hey, how's it going? How's it going, Billy? Hey, way to see you at that party last night. You know
Hey,
what?
Wild
like,
Saturday, huh?
Like what's the like what's the basis? Like why would you do that? Like what's the point of putting up that front? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And acting professional when really everyone knows you're just trying to get turned on the weekend.
What I think is so tight now is like a lot of these like
the young offices.
yeah, you know what I mean, like the startup
Exactly.
companies, the
Yeah.
like where they're hiring like millennials and all this type of shit.
They don't
Like,
have cubicles. They sit in groups.
yeah, we have open spaces, open space offices.
We sit in pods.
You know what I mean? You can bring your dog here. You know what I mean?
for real.
But all those ones, I think it's more accepting of like different cultures.
Yeah.
Not only like different like when I say cultures, I don't mean. I think cultures like a lot of times people think race, and like it's not. Like because like we are part of the hip hop culture, you know, the 5 elements. You know what I mean?
B-boying, graffiti,
And
MCing.
that culture like obviously it's founded in Black culture,
For sure.
but now it's like expanded to it's like
pop culture. If
It
you want to call it,
is
you know what I mean?
pop. It is pop culture. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
you don't want to ever forget where it came from and
course.
discredit like where it came from.
Definitely.
But like it covers all these races now. You know what
For
I mean?
sure.
And like that's the culture. Like I wouldn't even say like if you were to like when I was in all these like fucking student leader positions. Did you ever do this shit?
What like student leaders in college and stuff?
Yeah.
Nah,
You
that
had to
wasn't
you had
me.
to do shit like what are your 5 identities? Like
Oh,
that you
explain that.
So like your identities. I think it's similar to like code switching.
Mm-mm.
So like identities, you would like male. That's like one of my identities. It would be like a Mexican,
Okay.
fucking like shit like that. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
it would be like the identities in which people look at you, like
Right.
able-bodied. You know what I mean? Instead of like,
got you.
you know what I mean? So stuff like that. And like I always
Did they have to be like in the exercise? Did they have to be like super general like that, or just anything you picked about yourself?
This one fool like. It was like there's a like just how we're talking about cultures. There's a culture of social justice, and if you're in the culture of social justice, you know like the different like labels there are. But this one fool I was in there with, he was like name your identity. He was like loyal, honest. Everyone was like, what the fuck? That's not the exercise, my guy. Like everyone was like this fool, but no, like
he
they,
doesn't switch his codes.
they usually are like more general things based on like society's.
Okay.
Like boxes they put you in, or
Right.
whatever.
Don't put me in a box.
But like now, if I'm looking back, the main one I would ascribe to, I'd be like hip hop.
Oh.
That would be like my main identity because like a lot of things I like, a lot of things I'm
Stem
into,
from
the way I talk,
that
you
you
know what I mean?
act.
The,
Yeah.
the movies I watch, the content I consume
Right.
is seated not in Hispanic, not being Mexican, is seated in hip hop culture.
Wow. That's very interesting.
Play some fucking Huncho Jack Huncho right now. Oh my god.
Drops at midnight. Got leaked. But yeah, no, definitely me as like an Asian American.
Hey,
And more tune for your head top, so watch how you speak on my name, you know?
I
Drake,
hit that on accident.
Drake, that's a good example of code switching because Drake is not from the islands, you know.
Drake is fake,
And
bro.
he actually genuinely code switches all the time because if you notice, like sometimes he ups his Canadian accent.
Yeah.
And sometimes he like plays off of the island Caribbean vibe things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, see, in a way that does come off as inauthentic sometimes.
Do you think? Okay, you think it's because this has happened to me before. Well, I'll be like hanging out with like work friends or something. I think like work is like I think work is the biggest place you see the code switch.
Definitely.
Because you have to be a certain person at work, and then I don't think a lot of
Dude,
people.
I hate that, honestly.
Yeah, me too. I hate that too. because like you have to act like, I don't know, a certain way you should act or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, like you be hanging out with your work friends, and all of a sudden I see my boy. Like we're out somewhere at a restaurant or something, or like we're out at a bar or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'll see my boy. Like, oh, what's up, bro? Like, wow. And then like all of a sudden, and then you go, oh yeah, like so what are you guys doing after this? Like you know what I mean? And you switch back.
Yeah.
And that can come off as super ingenuine.
So I had one of the people that I worked with.
Yeah.
He had quit or had left, but then we met up, like us, like the whole team. We met up after work.
The whole squad.
You know what it is. And we met up after work, and we got like lunch or whatever.
Drinks.
Nah. Well, kind of. But
My guy, I'm trying to get Brandon to the drink culture, my guy.
no, you heard the 20th episode. I don't do well.
I'm just trying to get you drunk.
But at that lunch, like we low-key just all dropped the professional front. We were like, okay, we can talk. Like it was me, I'm Asian. It was like
I'm Asian. Hey, everyone, I'm Asian. All right, I'm gonna act Asian right now.
Ni hao. No. But it was like at the group, it was like two Hispanic people, and then like 3 black people, and the dude who left the company, he was Mexican as well.
Yeah,
but it's
shout out my Latinos, my
you know
guy.
what it is. And it was just weird because we came out of that lunch, and it was like weird. It's like, yo, why was he being kind of fake? It felt very politician like.
Yeah,
because he kept the professional thing going.
Oh, he didn't take
he
it
didn't
off.
he didn't drop it. But I think that's just might be how he is. But it just felt very fishy.
Like, I used to know a guy. I'm not gonna name names.
Yeah.
Who like that's who his personality was as well.
Mm-hmm.
It was like it was like, you know, when you first meet someone, oh hey, like where are you from, like that type of shit.
It's real guarded because you don't want to like.
But it never went away.
Oh,
and like you know who I'm talking about.
Do I?
Let's go off the mic real quick.
Oh wow, that's wild.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah, I mean.
Wow, that's a crazy real world experience.
Is that? Do you feel what I'm saying though? Like it never seemed like they were themselves. It always seemed like they were like not pretending, but like always courting. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like always like
it never
playing
felt
the
like
field,
relaxed.
And, like, yeah,
you know what I mean.
Always trying to introduce himself and be like come off as like save face type shit.
Right. So okay, the thing that runs through my brain right now is like, for example, like with white people, right?
Why they gotta be white?
Because like, do you in a way, like, do you think that they are now in a weird position because being that the cultural landscape of like young people are changing, and they don't, like, I don't know how they would
that
act,
gets me
you know what I mean?
hype.
Like I being like a minority, you know what I mean? Like I feel more comfortable like talking to you and stuff, and like I can do, you know,
Yeah,
I can act a certain way. But like with white people, like I don't know if I'm coming off hella racist right now.
yeah.
But they might have to come off always professional like that. You know what I mean? I'm not sure. I don't know. I'm asking a real like
One of my favorite
honest question.
One of my favorite scenarios is like when a white person comes into like a hella like cultural
right
group, or like a group that's I don't want to say like mad ethnic or anything like that, but like
Yeah.
a group that's very not white.
Yeah.
It's my favorite thing to see.
I
Like,
feel
is to see them.
I don't want it to come off like we're like anti-white people, bro. Like
but it's funny to see them like squirm a little bit.
a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
It's like, I don't
how
know.
do they how are they supposed to act? You know what I mean?
I don't have any hate, or like I understand the way the world works, and
Yeah.
like white culture is dominant right now
For sure.
You know what I mean? And like there's nothing like, not saying there's nothing we could do about it, but that's just the way it is right now.
Yeah.
So they have to understand that like that feeling that they have being uncomfortable when they're like in a group of like minorities or whatever.
Yeah.
Is the feeling that I have when I come into like a professional situation.
For sure.
Or I'm at that meeting, that luncheon that I was
Yeah.
talking about, and it's like,
Well, it's not
white.
even a lunch, it's a luncheon.
It was a luncheon. They served anyway. I don't know, but I go into this luncheon and I have to like cling to the minorities in the room because I feel not as comfortable talking. And it's not like I can talk to people that are outside of my cultural group,
Right.
but it's just I'm not using the vernacular
That makes you feel like yourself.
that make me feel comfortable. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because in my head I know it's not who I am. And when I go home, I'm not gonna talk like that. When I'm with my boys, I'm not gonna talk like that.
My
when
boys?
when I'm with my girls, I ain't gonna talk like that.
But okay, counter argument.
Yeah.
What do you say to like people who, I don't know if this is a counter argument, but a counterpoint.
Yeah.
It's like people who are real advocates of like, yo, standing out is not a bad thing. Like, yo, if you're in a professional environment, stay yourself. Like, don't compromise. Don't do that.
Because
That's a strong argument. Like, AI didn't compromise when he was in front of all these press people. You know
AI
what I mean?
AI was
the champion of
people like that are like my heroes in a way. Like I'm a big fan of Jesus and Mero.
Ooh.
I've been listening to like their episodes like straight. Like they're if you don't know, they have a podcast, Bodega Boys. They have a show on Viceland.
Yeah.
But I'm a big fan of that because they're taking like our culture, a culture we're a part of.
Yes.
You know, not a racial culture, but like a what's the word? If it's not racial, it's like a I don't even know how to what to describe that as.
Side note, can you separate culture from race?
I mean, yes, but no. Because like the culture we're a part of like started with black culture.
For sure.
And then it expanded to the point where like it's encapsulated a whole bunch of different cultures.
I think it's important to remember that where it came from black culture for sure.
Yeah, I think like yes, it's a lot of different cultures exist within it now.
Yeah.
But like you can't separate it from like where it originated.
And that's where like appropriation comes in when you cut that off.
Yeah.
And when you don't acknowledge that this is started like
This
if
isn't
I'm
mine.
like
This ain't mine.
Yeah, I'm an Asian person. I cannot not acknowledge that it came from black culture for
Yeah.
sure. Because that's where appropriation would definitely come in. You know what I mean? That's when inauthenticity.
That's what's interesting to me too, because like we talk about code switching, and then some people code switch, and it's like or try to code switch, like failing code switching. There's this, if you've seen the show Atlanta, there's this episode. It was Juneteenth, the Juneteenth party.
Oh, and they go to that person's house, right?
And it was this white dude who's like hella rich, and he has a black wife. And this dude is like he takes a Childish Gambino, Donald Glover, into his office, and he has all these like paintings of Africa and like all these like different like things and from Africa.
Yeah,
and he's super like acts like he's super like woke with the shit. You know what I mean?
Woke.
And then like he like gathers everyone around and does this like spoken word.
Oh my god, I remember that.
And he talks about like Jim Crow, but it's coming from this white dude, and it's just and that's like one of the ones where it's like I don't know what it is about that, but he's not genuine with what he like. It's not coming from a spot that's genuine. It's coming from like a I don't know what it is.
I can't differentiate. I mean, you can definitely feel it when it feels like they're just pandering.
It feels fake.
Yeah, but then like I don't know what makes something feel authentic at the same time. Like I don't know what comes off as authentic when someone is really when they're presenting these things to me.
Yeah,
like I don't know when it feels real. I can just tell. You know what I mean?
You know, Bad Bobby.
No. Oh, Bad Bobby. Yo, Catch Me Outside. How about that?
So the Catch Me Outside. How about that girl? She was on the what's that fool's name? Dr. Phil show. She's on the Dr. Phil show, and she was like she's like just mad. I don't even know what to say about it.
I know what you're talking about.
Disrespectful. She's on the show, and then she was like with her mom. Her mom's like, I don't know how to control her. Like I don't know. She's always, and she's like, catch me out. And these people were laughing. She's like, catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah.
And she kept on saying that shit, and then it became famous. It became a meme, and now she's like rapping and stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't know what her ethnic background is. She looks white.
Dude, did you see that thing she did for the Fader magazine?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, go for it. Yeah.
So so she made now all of a sudden she's making rap songs and shit.
Yeah.
And she has
God.
this one song that's like kind of popular. The first song she made was kind of popular.
Wasn't it like Bitch Bye or something? Like Bitch Bye?
Something like
she's
that. Like in
that.
a car or something.
She isn't, the music video isn't, yes.
I don't know her racial background. She looks white. But the Fader, she was in an interview, they asked her about cultural appropriation.
Yeah.
And she was like, and what, like, it was interesting because, like, do you think she's fake or not? Like,
see, when she, it's weird because in the Dr. Phil interview, like, you saw her mom also.
Yeah.
Her mom, like, wasn't like that. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean that she can't be like that. Like, my parents are not like me, you know? Dude, it came off as low-key, like, really, it came off as genuine. I can't even front. Like, it didn't seem like she was, like, really trying to appropriate anything or I might not be the best judge of that, though.
I honestly think, like, I don't want it to be because I think she's corny. But I also think she actually is like that. Like, that's her actual personality. Like, I don't think it's fake.
Yeah.
I don't think she's, like, trying to put on or anything. Because there's always, like, it obviously looks weird. Like, if there's a one white dude hanging out with all the black dudes.
Like an Eminem. Like,
yeah.
Eminem feels real, though. Like, Eminem's real.
And not anymore, but he was real.
Yes.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, Macklemore, not real.
I don't get that. See, I don't get why that's. I don't get the differentiate.
Because I don't know. Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know, but he's not.
It doesn't feel authentic to me.
Even Logic is half black.
Yeah.
And that fool doesn't feel like
I have different reasons as to why I like Logic. You know what I mean? Like I do think he could have named that song he has right now a better title.
What's the song he has?
It's like 1-800. It's like the suicide like hotline.
Wait, what's the chorus on the song? How's that go?
I honestly don't remember, but just from like a music making standpoint, I get what he's doing with the. I heard it on the radio once. It was like Logic new song 1-800. He could have named it something more concise, but like. Those are not necessarily him as a person or his being biracial. That makes me, I'm cool with that. But like him naming that song, that I have kind of beef with that.
It's wild is because you have like Logic, right?
Yes.
Half white, half black.
Yeah,
everyone sees that fool as white.
for sure.
Everyone sees that fool as white. Like they don't even. Some people don't even believe that he's half black.
Yeah.
On the other hand, you have J. Cole, half
Oh
white.
my God, yeah.
half black.
Barack Obama.
No one would ever look at J. Cole and be like, "This fool's white."
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
I think it comes down to I think race nowadays doesn't matter as much as culture does. Because I like looking at like who they are, like you could tell J. Cole didn't grow up in a white neighborhood.
Yeah.
Or didn't grow up around white people.
Right.
Just the way like he acts and like where his culture is from.
Yes.
His culture isn't based in a white culture. Logic is half white, half black.
Yeah.
But you could tell that this fool was raised around white people. I'm not saying that's a bad thing or a good thing.
Do you know Logic's backstory?
No.
It's crazy, bro. He grew up in the in Gaithersburg, Maryland,
Where's
in Maryland, like a really bad part of Maryland, like super bad part.
Yeah.
His brother sold crack to his dad and shit.
Wow.
It was like super bad. And I just to combat that, what you just said, I don't think he was raised around white people.
No, why does he seem?
I don't know. No, because he's all about his thing is like peace, love, and positivity, right?
Yeah.
Like that's his whole thing. But he was just to like counter what you said. Like I don't think he was raised in that type of environment, like just hella white people.
Okay, maybe he wasn't. But does it
Right.
seem like that? Like I don't know what makes like in my head when I look at they're the same. They're 50-50.
Right.
What makes when I look at J. Cole, this fool's from black culture,
right?
and look at Logic, and am I wrong in saying that? Like if I think J. Cole's from black culture,
I can see that, but like in my argument, like just because like Logic, for example, like let's say Logic acts professional because he does. He's all about like being really cool, like being nice to people and stuff.
Yeah.
Not saying J. Cole's not.
Yeah.
But J. Cole does it in a different way, and like he packages that niceness and that like approachableness in a different way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think it's just the way they act. And so going back to like what Bad Bobby or whatever her name is, catch me out. Bad Bobby, whatever her name is. Yeah, Catch Me Outside.
That
Girl.
name's kind of hot. I kind of
No,
think
it's
it's
not,
cool.
bro.
I kind
No,
of think
it's
it's cool.
She in that Fader video, she's like, you can't act a color. Like, why are people saying this? Like, you can't act a color.
You know the wild shit she brought up?
What?
She's like, you can't act a color. Asians started tattoos. Like, I don't.
Oh,
you see
she
that?
said that?
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
Out
I
of
don't remember that
nowhere.
at all.
She's like, you can't act a color. Like everyone's like Asians started tattoos.
Wow, it's wild.
Like what?
So she's basically saying that tattoos are attached to a certain race, and people have chopped that off from
She's
Asian
like,
culture.
If you have a tattoo, you're appropriating Asian culture.
Wow, that's crazy. That's the same thing as like saying Asian people invented pasta. They did, and basically you're just appropriating Asian people. You know what I mean? It's
We're all
crazy.
just appropriating each other, my guy.
So at the end of the day, like everyone says that race is like a social construct, which is true, right?
Yeah.
But like again, culture is not. Like culture actually exists. Like this is
Yeah, because you could be like a certain race and grow up in like a let's say like you're white, black. You grow up in a Mexican culture.
yeah.
Or a Mexican family. You're gonna be culturally Mexican.
I'm
know what
down
I
with
mean?
that. Like I think that's where like in the big picture, like America hopefully is going. Like I hope that's what happens.
That's
in the
what she was
future.
saying, and that one of the like my favorite quote that she says is, "For those who opt for authenticity are often faced with real consequences that can be felt." So if
Say it
like,
again, please.
So for those who opt for authenticity, there are often very real consequences that can be felt.
Right.
So if you come into situations, and a lot of this is professional situations, and you like act like yourself, like there are consequences to the way you act. You might not get a job.
You know what I think about when I hear that quote?
What?
Tupac.
What?
Dude, Tupac was himself like eternally, right? Like
Yeah.
like thug life, thugged out. Like I'm not compromising myself for anyone, right? But then if you look at like the young Tupac,
Yeah.
totally different. I know you're a big fan of Tupac,
Yeah.
and that's why I brought it up. Because like, what are your takes on him? Like, essentially, he changed. If you can give me that little timeline.
Well, like okay, like I think we were talking about earlier. like you brought up of like at faking it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So going into like we talked about her moving from like a inner city neighborhood into like a white neighborhood,
Right.
and then acting like having to fake it to make it in there, and like
Yes.
changing the way she dresses, and then
Right,
that
right.
culture
Became her.
eventually becoming her.
Yeah.
And Tupac was raised like by his mom, who's a Black Panther.
Yes.
Very like it wasn't social justice back then, but it was like I wouldn't even know the word. Like it was a very like revolutionary school of thought, very Black Power
Yes.
school of thought, and being like conscious of all these things and going to an arts high school, and then moving to Marin City, you know, like which is by Oakland in the Bay, and then hanging out with all gangbangers and people who sell drugs and stuff like that. So he actually had two sides to him. You know what I mean? There wasn't like Tupac just wasn't a thug. Like my favorite part about Tupac is if you say
Thug style.
thug life.
Yeah.
Right? And people like thug life, and there's like videos, right? Thug life, like people like
Yeah.
acting hard or whatever. But people forget that thug life's an acronym.
The longest acronym of all time.
The hate you give little infants fucks everybody.
Yeah.
So like even like that's like the perfect, to me, that's the perfect like image of Tupac. Where on the outside people thought he was like this tough person, he's scary, he should be in jail, he's a thug, like blah blah blah. But he was someone who like was himself because that's who he was and that's who the people around him were. He stood up for those people, but under that it was a side where he's trying to uplift people and try to get them out of the situations that they are in. You know what I mean?
Right.
So he was like true to himself and like would speak one vernacular, but like when he was around different people, he was like, nah, like we like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he was a
Yeah.
two-sided person. I don't, and so I think that goes back to it. Like I don't think maybe code switching isn't that bad if you've grown up in two different cultures, you know
Right.
how to navigate.
That reminds me of like when people like immigrate to the US. Like for example, I think about my parents.
Yeah.
Or like even my dad. Like my dad would talk about how when he came to America, he had a crazy thick Filipino accent, you know, and he had to like adopt the traditional like American accent and drop that, which I admire. You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
you got to survive in this world if you want to make it in America.
That's
you know what I mean?
That's what that quote's saying is like if he kept that accent,
Yeah.
he would have been out of so many jobs.
Yeah, yeah. His boss told him one time, he's like, because you're like Asian American, like you have to work twice as hard as the next guy. In
Yeah.
here. Because I mean, back then, I guess I was like the 80s or like, 80s he came over. Obviously wasn't as PC as today, no
Yeah.
doubt. You know what I mean? So I really respect that him for doing that, for being able to code switch that hard.
Yeah.
And that successfully. You know what I mean? And I think that is where like standing out is a bad thing for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But then there's other times when standing out is a great thing. But then I don't know where that line is. It's tough for me because I have no answers in this. Like
No, I
I don't
know.
have any like yes or no's. It's just all like just things I want to explore.
One of my favorite things is when I meet people who are like successful in like the business world.
Yeah.
Or successful in like fields I want to be successful in.
Right.
And you meet them and like there's like there's like ways you're supposed to act.
Yeah.
And like you see them and they'll be like acting like how you said you went to that like after dinner thing or with your company
Yeah.
and they're acting like themselves.
Yeah.
And there's those people that you meet in professional situations and they're like acting like not how they're supposed to act. And they're
Right.
being themselves. And that's the type of person that I want to be. Like I want to be able to be in these situations,
Right.
but I think like at a certain point you have to be successful enough in order to be yourself. As like coming in as an underdog or someone who's like trying to get a job and trying to make it in like let's say we're mingling, we go to like luncheon or whatever.
Yeah.
And I'm like an underdog and I don't have that much clout and I don't have that much like say and like I don't have that much behind me.
You
So
have to act that way.
I have to act the part.
Yeah.
But once you get to a certain level,
You can drop it.
you can drop the act and you can be yourself because no one can tell you shit because look at what you've done.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I respect people like that who are like already accomplished and then they act themselves.
They're real.
Exactly.
It's I think more so than anything, like even though code switching does happen like subconsciously, it's a skill.
Yeah.
Like you have to learn when and where and how to do this.
Yeah.
And it's tough. It's tough for everyone, I feel like, especially when everyone like kids are just trying to fit in, man. Like on the playground. Like
Yeah.
you had to be able to navigate that at a young age, you know. And I think that going forward, hopefully it gets easier for everyone.
What she was saying too is she said like ideally there wouldn't be a place where you would have to go and act a different way.
Right.
Because like in order to get certain jobs you're going to have to act a certain way. You have to change, you're going to have to act white. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
More or less. You're going to act white. And so like what she was saying is like hopefully in the future, there's a future where you can act the way you are and you're embraced for like she talked about like wearing a hijab or having like people businesses will tell people you have to change your hair from your natural hair because it's not professional or some shit like that. And so like hopefully we'll get to a point as a country where you're embraced for your differences and like the way you talk. Like I can be in here and talking. I mean, not cussing. I don't think cussing will ever be acceptable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So cussing's a different game because like. No one likes. I mean, everyone knows that certain words are bad. Like they give you like an intrinsic, like visceral feeling. Oh, he said fuck, and I don't like that. You know what I mean? And that makes everyone uncomfortable. In most situations,
I want to be in a community where I could speak the way I talk.
Right,
I could talk the slang or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah,
talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's eventually the point where I want to get, where I could speak the way I want to speak, and people will understand me.
Man, we're just trying to be heard, bro.
You know what I mean? Shout out Tupac.
Really quick question: have you ever like, this might not be exactly in the lane of code switching, but have you felt like a true disadvantage because you were Mexican?
Like a true. I think it's different for me because I racially I think I'm ambiguous.
Like looking at you, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to tell.
Yeah, like so I'm in this weird lane where like people don't know what to think about me.
Like looking at you, like you could be like, I don't know, white. You could be Latino. You could be like Middle Eastern.
I get Middle Eastern.
Shout out to Amr.
When people hear my name, Dominic Lozano, they think Italian too.
No way.
I get Italian.
Dominic Lozano.
Yeah, Lozano. But then I drop my middle name. Like, what's your middle name? Rodriguez? Like,
it's over.
That's not a middle name. It's a last name. I was like, bro, I'm Mexican.
I feel.
Like, oh, I get it. Yeah, but so like because of that, like I feel like a lot of the challenges I face aren't due to my race because people can't tell. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like other people where like their race is very obvious, like I think they face more challenges than I do because I don't people don't know what I am.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, which is like I mean, granted, like of course you have to be comfortable in your own skin. Yeah. But do you like the ambiguity you give off, like when people look at you?
On some hella racist shit, my stepmom used to say, she'd be like, all my family's darker than me. I'm like the lightest one. She's like, Tom, you're the luckiest one. You're the lightest.
Yeah.
And I was like, when I was younger, I always wanted to be dark.
Really?
I think we talked like all my cousins, they were dark, and like my cousin and my sister, they have this thing when he'd come over.
They'd compare?
They'd be like, BP. I was like, it's brown power. I'd be like, yeah, BP. Like, bro, you're not brown. I'd be like, what the fuck? It's my sister. Like, we're the same. But I always wanted to be darker.
Wow.
I always wanted to be like browner because like I didn't want to be white. As bad as that sounds, like I'd rather be seen as Mexican than be seen as white. And so like I always wanted to be darker, but I wasn't. So like I'm very racially ambiguous. I think I felt more stress or like more for the way I dress. Because like the way you dress is like representative of the culture you're into.
For
like,
sure.
I can look at someone like not even like you could hide their skin color. You show me an outfit and I know who they listen to, what type of museums they do, what type of movies they like. Like I can tell you.
Let me give you one. This person's wearing Yeezy 350 Boost. This person wears distressed skinny denim. This person's wearing an elongated t-shirt with a hoodie over it.
I guarantee you, they see you, they'll walk up to you like, hey fam, I fuck with the vision. Let's build.
Yo. Did you like Life of Pablo?
That's the type of shit they say, bro. Like, what's your favorite Kanye
What's
album?
your favorite?
Top 5. You listen to Brockhampton? You heard that new Brockhampton album? Yo, I fucking love Frank Ocean, man. Nikes is my shit. Like that type of guy.
Yo.
Like, yeah, you know what I mean?
No,
like,
yeah, for
I
sure.
can judge more people off, not their skin color, but their clothing, because that tells me what, like, pop culturally, what they're into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So
I like that.
I think I feel more biased based on the way I dress.
Yeah.
Like we were walking in here the other day, and there was someone who's gonna meet me here to drop off something, and based on the way I dress, like I know they saw me, they're like kind of scared.
Really?
You know what I mean? Not kind of scared, but they're like my work clothes compared to the clothes I wear like regularly. People are like, whoa. You know, who's this dude? I remember I'd be in a store with my friend in high school, and then it was wild. Like the way we used to wear crew necks, triple A's, Pro Club t-shirts, and like jeans or whatever. And I was in the store with my friend Austin Park. Shout out my guy Austin Park.
Yeah,
basically my homie. And we're walking through the store, and he dressed like he wore it a little bit baggier than I did.
Right.
We were walking I forgot what we were looking for. We were buying soda or something. And I was walking with him, and he just got hella quiet. and we're walking, and then we turn, and he turns down the liquor aisle. And I was like, what the fuck? And he turns and he stops and he starts looking at all the bottles. 3 seconds later, one of the people that works there walked up to us. He's like, hey, what the fuck are you guys doing here?
No way.
And he was like, what? And he like looked at me, he was like, what the fuck you mean? Like, he was mad. And I was like, what the hell? And I was like, he knew. I wasn't aware to that. Like, I wasn't like he saw that guy. This guy was Filipino, but he's darker Filipino. So he looked Mexican. And he knew that right when he felt someone following him.
Yeah.
And he walked to the alcohol aisle on purpose. We weren't there to buy alcohol.
Yeah.
And he walked to the alcohol aisle and started staring at it because he knew someone was following him. And he like acted the part.
Yeah.
Like he felt it and he knew it. And that was strictly off the way he was dressed. Strictly off the way he was dressed. And the way I was dressed.
In that situation, in his life, it's not his job to dress differently.
No.
Not at all. Like, but still those stereotypes do exist when someone does dress like in baggy clothing.
Yeah.
And like AAA or Pro Club t-shirts and baggy jeans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's just, I'm very conflicted on this.
Why?
Because like, that's just how he wants to dress. That's how he wants to portray himself to the public, to the world. You know
Not
what
only
I mean?
how he wants to dress, but like how he knows how to dress.
Exactly. Oh, that's even better. Like that's not necessarily all he knows, but that's all he knows. That's what he's comfortable in. That's what he feels
It's
good
a
in.
cultural dress. Like, you know how like different cultures, like Mexicans, like they have a certain cultural dress.
Yeah.
Like Indians, they have a certain cultural dress. Like in this culture, which is separated from like an actual race.
Yeah.
In this culture, that's the dress you wear.
Yeah.
That's the costume. That's the outfit
Yeah.
you wear. Pro Club t-shirts and like baggy jeans. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's not like it's a choice. It's like that's what he wears. That's what people.
Right.
That's what he's seen. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Wait. So what were you conflicted about? I'm sorry.
I'm just conflicted because like on the one hand, like coming from living in this world, like I know that like people. Not saying that dude had no one should follow anyone in the store, right?
Yeah.
But like, I understand
Why he was
following
Yeah.
him. You know what I mean?
It's a quote unquote gangster
Yeah.
type. Of, when you see other people dressed like that,
Yeah.
you know what type of things they are into. Whether you see it on the news, whether you see people in
Yeah.
your neighborhood, like of the gangster dress. There's a gangster dress.
Yeah.
There's gangster clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a gangster uniform.
But that
quote
person
unquote.
doesn't necessarily have to be in a gang or it is up to some shit in your store trying to steal
Exactly.
stuff. You know what I mean?
Because you could just be from that culture, from that like area, and that's how you
That's
dress.
what you know.
But you're not. You don't do those things.
But I can see both sides. Like why this dude, whoever the manager, the worker, would be suspicious. You know?
If you see that same dude, Austin Park, dressed in, slacks, a tie, and you don't follow him through the store.
No, not at all.
Same fucking person.
Yeah.
That's why I think it's more about culture and like pop culture and the way you dress.
Right. Then your skin color.
No, I take that back.
Okay.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't think it's more about that. But I think dress plays a huge part in it.
For sure.
I definitely don't think it's all about that because people get judged on their race. You could be same dress and you'll still get judged about your race.
Yeah.
But I think clothing
Is a
plays a
big
huge part in it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Not
Fashion.
the only thing. Not the only thing.
Fashion, bro. Fashion will fuck you up.
Fashion got me fucked up. My guy. Funny story. This is just a funny story.
Tell me.
I was picking up my sister, and I was with my brother. This story is all funny to me because my brother is kind of like a gangbanger. Like you would be like, you would see him, you'd be like, oh, like,
Yeah.
oh, like, and he would even be, he's like, yeah, like, you know what I mean? He was like,
Winks, he winks.
yeah. And we're outside to pick up my sister. We're in Chino Hills, by Henry's, which is like a market,
But it's like a very organic.
it's like a Trader Joe's.
Yeah.
So we're picking her up at this karate studio, and we're parked, and we're both wearing hats, and then we're talking to each other. We're very expressive when we talk. So we're waiting for my sister, and this car pulls up to us, and it's like this old white dude, and like I'm facing the car, like we're sitting in the front seat.
Were you driving or were you? Were you driving?
I'm driving.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm looking at the passenger window, and this dude pulls up on my right side.
Yeah.
So by the passenger door,
Mhm.
and like my brother's talking to me, and I could see him. And he's like pulls up, and he's looking at us. Like his eyes are kind of wide. I was like, whatever. I didn't think anything of it. We're talking, blah blah blah, and then we're waiting, and like it's taking forever for my sister to get out of practice.
She got to do those kicks, bro.
Yeah, so we're looking, and then they start closing up. They start closing the windows, and like they start locking the door. I was like, fuck, did she already leave? Did she get a ride home?
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there, and then like probably 5 to 10 more minutes pass, and then she comes out, and she's like laughing, busting up laughing.
Oh, I remember.
And she gets in the car, and then I was like, "What the Sling? What the hell?" And she's like, "So apparently, what happened is that white dude saw us. I didn't see, but he walked inside.
Oh God.
And he's like, is anyone expecting to get picked up by 2 older Hispanic males?" And then they're like, "No," because they didn't. My sister didn't know that me and my brother were picking her up. She thought my dad or something was picking her up. And he's like, and they're like, "No," and they're like, "There's 2 Hispanic males out there, and they're casing the place. We need to lock up." They fucking closed the windows. They closed the blinds and they locked the place because we thought we were about to rob them. They started saying a prayer.
No way.
They held hands and they were saying a prayer because they thought we were about to go in and fucking rob the place.
They got their green belts on. They were ready to fight
and
you.
then, so my sister's sitting there and she's like, they start holding hands. They start praying or whatever. And
Wild.
All of a sudden it's like, wait, because they said the name of the car too. They're like, Kia Soul, 2 older. Fuck. And she's like, I think those are my brothers. And so she goes outside and like it was us, and she was like, yeah, and she told us the whole story about how that fool came in, saw us, was hella shook,
Wow.
closed all the windows, locked the car, and they started fucking praying because they thought he literally said casing the place, like this was a fucking 94
Shit.
heist joint.
They're
And
casing us.
We're about to fucking scoping out the bank for our fucking Ocean's 11 robbery.
That's
of it.
crazy, bro.
It was wild.
That's wild. The only time I've ever truly experienced, I don't even think it was like racism.
I remember.
You remember this?
Yeah.
I don't think it was. I think just dude was just dumb. Like
That was
he
pretty
just,
fucked up.
He's just ignorant. And I was at this place getting like whatever fries or whatever with my friend, and we're sitting there outside, and this dude is on his laptop, right?
Yeah.
He's like sitting like a couple tables down from us, and then this older gentleman like walks up, and then he looks at me, and he's like meeting up with the dude on the laptop, but he looks at me, and he goes, "Ching chong, ni hao, ni hao. Do you speak Chinese?" I was like, huh? I was like, first of all, that's not it. Like
he really said that shit.
he said that.
I don't know what that is, bro. I don't
Dude,
know.
I don't get it. I don't understand. Like what
Is that? Like, I'm
I think it
pretty
was
sure
just
that's
ignorant.
racist, but I don't know why he would say that.
he was like an older dude of like
What are we talking about?
What?
How old?
like I'm gonna say like 60, like 65 maybe. You know,
Wild.
and he was just like he just pulled up. He was like Ching Chong, like ni hao, whatever. I was like, you speak
What did you
Chinese?
say to him?
I was like, no. No.
No, sir.
And then I was like, no. And then he goes again. He's like, Ching Chong, you speak Chinese? Like, ni hao. I was like, dude. And then my homegirl, Alina, shout out to Alina. She's loud. She's
Yeah.
outspoken. She's like, he doesn't
wild.
speak Chinese.
You fucking bitch.
And then the dude, the younger guy on the laptop, he's
Yeah.
about like 30. He didn't say anything. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. This dude's fucking racist.
I'm sorry, whatever. Dude, that's the only experience that I've had. But like me as an Asian guy, like as a Chinese Filipino, like American, like I don't speak Tagalog Chinese. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's all. I always know how to speak English.
Kuya Jordan.
Kuya.
Kuya Jordan Clarkson.
Shout out to all my Pinoys out there.
Proud to be. Yeah, that's wild. I see a lot of like can you say Pinoy people or is that fucked up?
Dude, I'm the wrong person, bro. Like, you could say my fellow
I
Pinoys.
don't see a lot of Latino, Hispanic, Mexican people getting like Mexican flags tattooed. I see hella Filipino people getting the Filipino star
Dude,
tattooed.
Filipino
bro.
people love the Philippines. They love the island stickers like on their
Yeah,
cars.
that's
They have
wild, bro.
the star tatted on their arm.
Some people are like some cultures like a Hawaiian culture. My uncle's Hawaiian. He's
Yeah.
like hella about Hawaii.
So wait, side note: is he Hawaiian but also Mexican or like?
No, he's
like
he's married. into our
oh,
family.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
So he's from like
Got
Hawaii
you.
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's all about being Hawaiian, like Hawaiian
That's tight.
stickers and Hawaiian music and brudda, and like he talks on
Brudda.
Facebook. He used to like type in pigeon and shit.
It's wild.
So I had no idea what he was saying, bro.
Another thing that I just another story. My coworker at my previous job, his name was David, right?
Yeah.
And I remember it was like late night, we were closing up, and then these 2 Mexican dudes walk into our store.
Yeah,
And then like David speaks Spanish. He's like he's Mexican, you know what I mean?
yeah.
And
With the shit.
yeah. And then he said something about being Latino because these dudes that walked in, they had like the Mexican eagle tatted on them, and they're
Wow.
all about like being Mexican. They're very
Fuck,
proud of
there's
it.
a word for that.
In Spanish?
Yeah, there's like a. It's like kind of a derogative term for people who like dress up in like the cowboy hats.
Oh.
Fuck. Fuck, it's gonna piss me off if I can't remember what that is. I'm gonna text my Mexican boys right now and see what's
But anyway, like they walked in and he had like the eagle tat on his leg. He had like hella Mexico tattoos, right?
Yeah.
And then my friend David, he goes, "Oh yeah, something Latino." And then the dude stops him and he goes, "I'm not Latino. I'm Mexican." I was like, "Whoa, I didn't know there was a difference, my guy."
Bro, bro, that's hella weird for me
Yeah.
because I don't know, like people are hella weird, bro. You got Hispanic, you got Latino, you got Chicano, you got fucking Mexican, all that shit.
All the butter pecan Ricans out there.
And I'm like hella, I'm hella racist to even like own like Latino is like a general like.
Is Latino not the
Low-key,
correct, not the
low-key
correct
even
word?
makes me mad that people like put on for like Latino or Hispanic.
Yeah.
Because all Hispanic is Native Americans that got like the Spanish came and like fucked them up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That it doesn't make me mad, but like we rep a culture that was like forced onto us. Like a lot of Mexican people are super Catholic and shit.
Yeah.
But like we got like our actual roots are like Native American, Mayan. Not Native American like as in like Navajo, but Native American as in like Mayan, Aztec, Inca, and that shit.
Yeah.
And then we got fucked over by the Spanish, and we got this Catholicism and like all this Spanish, like all that stuff got forced onto us. And now we rep that hard and shit. Like we're proud of that, but like it's like
after so many years though, that just it just becomes part of you.
Yeah,
You know what
I mean, like I understand it, but anyway, so back to the thing is like Mexican is like Mexican. You're from Mexico.
Right.
Latino is like a culture. Kinda. It's like a Hispanic type of like, Latin American Hispanic thing. So like Latino is like very
broad,
encapsulates a lot. Yeah, and Mexican is like Latino could be Puerto Rican, like
right.
or Uruguayan. I don't even know how you say that one.
Yeah,
it could be like a lot of different ones. But Mexican is like we're from Mexico. So I could see that.
Yeah,
it'd be like me saying like, "Oh, you're Asian." You're like, "No, I'm Korean."
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. I feel that.
Shout out all my Koreans out there.
Shouts out the Koreans
Shout
out there.
Fujin.
Hey, bro, that's the Korean barbecue. Even though I don't eat any of that shit except for rice paper. Anything else you want to add before we close up shop for tonight, brother?
Hey, check out the Peer Pressure Book Club, my guy.
Oh, I forgot about that, brother.
I'll talk about it in the beginning.
Okay, yeah, you're right.
Hey, Peer Pressure Book Club starting New Year's. Get your life right.
The PPBC.
We're gonna read Sapiens. Catch us and we'll do a March. We're gonna have have some reviews. Or we'll like do a couple updates. We'll throw in, we'll figure out. You know what I mean? It's very fluid, gender fluid.
Hey, all right, man. Once again, this is Brando. I got my boy here, Damisito. We signing off. Peer Pressure, episode 28. Thanks for listening. Catch you in the next one.
Peer pressure. Pressure. Peer pressure.